celebrity single does meet his or her match, you can bet the Love Report's R. Corey Hay knows about it. R. Corey has the latest on who's dating whom in Hollywood.
On guard. Hello, this is R. Corey Hay reporting from in front of the controversial Olympic Gateway in L.A., created by artist Robert Graham. Summer is heating up, and so are the romantic annex of the world's celebrities. Are you ready to slice apart the love lives of the stars and take a mini tour of Hollywood with me? Are you sure? Okay, here we go. Henry Fonda's widow, Shirley, is pairing with movie veteran Cornel Wilde. She began by taking fencing lessons from him and discovered she was just wild about Cornel. If there were an Olympic competition for studio hopping, Heather Locklear would win hands down. Heavenly Heather races back and forth and rolls in Dynasty and T.J. Hooker, but has managed to still find time to carve out a romance with teen heartthrob Scott Baio, who has a new comedy series called Charles in Charge, premiering in the fall. Dorothy Hamill, who skated her way to Olympic gold in 1976, has melted the iceberg that had formed between her and estranged husband, Dean Paul Martin. She and Dino Jr. are once again living together in their old Beverly Hills home. Just when you thought the final curtain had come down on the marriage of Neil Simon and Marsha Mason, the buzz in Hollywood is that they're getting back together. Don't be surprised if Marsha was at Neil's side when his new play, The Biloxi Blues, opens in L.A. this fall. And Connie Stevens has also been dating her ex-husband, actor James Stacey, who sadly lost an arm and a leg in a motorcycle crash many years ago. This is the Hard Rock Cafe, a favorite celebrity hotspot here in Hollywood. In September, a new Hard Rock will open in San Francisco, and of course the original one is in London. Yummy, yummy. Speaking of jolly old England, the Queen's divorced sister, Princess Margaret, has been rattling teacups over her latest romance with an English aristocrat named Guy Neville, who is at least 15 years her junior. I say. Fellow Brit hard rocker David Bowie is making beautiful music with stunning socialite Sabrina Guinness. Meanwhile, in Monte Carlo, the family left behind by the late Princess Grace is involved in some royal romances. Princess Stephanie has kissed and made up with race car driver Jean-Paul Belmondo Jr., and he has even given her a friendship ring. Are those wedding bells I hear in the distance? Grace's beloved widower, Prince Rainier, has been playing matchmaker for their son, Albert. The good prince has not always approved of Albert's playmates, so he has arranged for some dates for him with Bianca Irene, the Duchess of Savoy. Rainier is very pleased, and they seem to be hitting it off regally. This is Hollywood High, from which many of your favorite celebrities graduated with a diploma in stardom. Frank Sinatra's daughter, Tina, who's producing a movie for her dad called Home Sweet Home, is sweet on Hollywood manager Bob Finkelstein. And Andrew Stevens, a chip off Stella Stevens' beautiful block, is consoling himself over the cancellation of his TV series Emerald Point by dating interior designer Jill Hall. Jamie Lee Curtis, the pride and joy of Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, is ecstatic over her new leading man, artist Billy Al Bengston. They met at his 50th birthday party and have been sharing the cake ever since. Former Chip star Eric Estrada, currently starring in a New York City play called True West, may have found his true love. He's riding tandem and living with pretty songwriter Peggy Rowe. And guess who's been dating and traveling with a professor named Warren Bennis? None other than advice columnist Ann Landers. I wonder what her sister, dear Abby, would say about that. And my advice to you is to tune in next time for more in the Love Report. Wishing you good gossiping. This is R for Romantic Corey Hay reporting from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Fits right in, doesn't he, to Hollywood? I mean, your image, your
more or less,
stereotypical image of Hollywood. I'm glad he got rid of the
sword, the
sword,
épée.
the épée.
Épée, en garde.
That guy could be dangerous with one of those, and we'll be right back.
He's back. He's tanned. He's rested. He's R. Corey Hay. If people are talking family favorite, he's going to tell us tales of gossip about your favorites like Marlon Brando, Carol Baker, Deborah Winger, and Princess Di. Please welcome the man around town, the host that knows the most, the party giver, the attender extraordinaire, R. Corey Hay. With that kind of an intro, we're all out of time.
You think it was me that was going to get married today?
You'd think. I'm kind of
very
excited.
Happy for
Thank
you.
you
I bet
very
you are.
much.
Did you spend last night with him?
So tell me about Marlon Brando.
Okay. All right. Well, Marlon Brando has a son, of course, named Christian Brando.
Yes.
And it's a little bit of a problem now because Marlon had promised Christian the lead role with him in Jericho, a film about the CIA. Only Marlon was sitting home watching the Olympics, and he saw Greg Louganis sort of flying through the air and took a personal interest in him. And when the Olympics was over, he went out to L.A. and wanted to meet Greg, and suddenly Christian's part has been given to Greg Louganis. Now,
oh, no.
Christian Brando is not exactly thrilled with this, although Marlon has promised him a smaller part. So where's Christian right now? Well, Christian is in Rome, where he makes his living being in B-movies and also
being a mechanic.
A
So, a
mechanic?
mechanic. I mean, this is the real Brando tradition here. I think Marlon's probably a little upset with Christian because of the fact that Christian has left his wife and is now living with an American actress called Laura Funio. And so there's this little family friction here and there. And poor Greg, of course, being constantly plagued by the rumors that he's living with a male Hollywood head of a studio and is denying this all over town. And, you know, those rumors keep flying. No, I don't think it is true.
Okay, all right.
There are some things true, and we'll talk about that next time. But
He's still digging deep into this, and we'll report back later, right? All right, Princess Caroline.
Princess Caroline. Well, of course, there's a real feud going on. This
Is
is
there
family
really?
feud time, so we want something we want you to avoid. But
Families are falling apart.
except yours.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a battle over the throne in Monte Carlo. As you know, by law, Prince Albert, the son of Prince Rainier and the son of Princess Grace, should inherit the throne. However, they all call him kind of a wimp and say Caroline's more of a man than he is. And
That's a compliment.
there's actually been a recent survey in Nice of the newspapers that they said they'd really rather have Caroline be the head of state. So Caroline is sort of jockeying for position, and I think there's a deal underway where Albert will be made the head of state, but Caroline will have all the power. Meanwhile, Princess Stephanie, we want to know about Princess Stephanie, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yeah,
well, okay.
Yeah.
The princess with a past. Anyway, she's, you know, thank God, I think she's off drugs right now, which I'm very happy about. She's finally dumped that cheap bleach blonde hairdresser she was going with in L.A. called Mario Guittard, and now she is back in the arms of, can everyone remember her past? Think back. Rob Lowe, exactly. Okay.
Rob,
They were backstage at the Amnesty International concert in L.A., where Rob is traveling on with Bruce Springsteen and everyone, and the sparks started to fly again. But Rob, don't you remember that night when you, like, practically cried in my arms and said that she kissed like a man and made you very unhappy? I mean, you swore to me she had used you and you were not going to go back. So what has she done to you, Rob? I mean, but now they are back together.
Define kiss like a man.
That was Rob's. Hey.
How would he know?
Ask John. Ask John.
All right, fine.
Of course, you wouldn't know that till tonight, would you?
No. Okay, Vanessa Redgrave. One
Vanessa
of my favorite
Redgrave,
actresses.
of course, has a daughter named Jolie Richardson. Now, that's all nice, but of course, what's a little strange is that Jolie is now dating her ex-stepfather, Franco Nero. Now, Franco was married to Vanessa, and hey, I just report this stuff, okay? Look, it's probably all very above board, but that hand-holding, that dancing cheek to cheek, both in Rome and London, has got some of us going, darling,
Excuse me?
that was your stepfather, not her father. Then we'd really have another show.
Oh, yes, we
Okay,
would.
who's
A
next?
whole hour. Sophia Loren. Now, we talked a little bit
As
about
I said,
her last
the feud,
week.
there's a family feud time, and Sophia Loren is very upset with her husband, Carlo Ponti, because Carlo was spotted out in a Rome restaurant with Aya Fastari. Now, Aya Fastari was his, this gets a little complicated today, his ex-sister-in-law. And it was Aya Fastari that almost broke up his marriage to Sophia in 1986. He's
back
reportedly
together
always been
again?
in love with Aya, and they were having dinner, and Sophia was not happy.
Oh, I bet not.
They're not speaking right now.
Are they good? Do you think there's maybe a breakup in the future?
No, I think that this is a real Italian marriage, and we're not going to see any breakups in that marriage or yours.
No. Why do you keep bringing this? Oh, you guys. Deborah Winger.
Deborah Winger, okay, family feud time once again. She's married to Timothy Hutton.
Yes.
She has a young child, but they're not together anymore either. She is now,
No.
yes, no, yes.
I hate
What's
that.
happened is, I hate it too, but actually I love it. I'd be out of a job if we couldn't talk like this. The truth is that she has left Timothy Hutton. She is now with Henri Costa-Gavras, the controversial director. He's about 25 years older than she is. They are making beautiful music together. Timothy Hutton is now segued into the arms of the ex-girlfriend of, and he did have one, Pee Wee Herman, and her name
No.
is Valeria Galanio. Now, I mean, these are a lot of Italian names
Now, wait a
today,
minute.
so...
Pee Wee
had a
Herman's
girlfriend,
is
is
now with Timothy Hutton.
and his wife is now with Henri Costa-Gavras.
Show business, huh?
Show business, okay? Who's next?
Princess Diana.
Princess Diana, the extravagant one. Of course, she has her own little kind of separate life marriage, although he does visit her
Have you seen the
pretty
cover
regularly.
of People magazine,
I did
Life
see
Without
it.
Dye?
Life Without Dye. It's not quite that bad. I mean, they do really get together. She will be with him for his 40th birthday party, which is this week. And, of course, the invitation read, I love the invitation.
What did it say?
Sort of the opposite of where Blue Jeans it was, ladies, no tiaras, please. So she's promised to be with him that night, and I'm sure he'll have a good time, but she has just commissioned herself a private perfume at the cost of $10,000 because she wants him to be able to smell her when they're together. Okay, who's next?
I just don't. Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle. Okay, so last week we savaged poor Mr. Bush, and now Mr. Quayle gets his turn.
Great.
We understand that People magazine is working on a secret story saying Dan Quayle is homosexual. Oh! I don't believe it. I don't believe it. People magazine denies it. Hey,
I'm going to
we
be
woke
looking
up
for
today.
a job.
People
I'm going to be
magazine-
staying at home from now on.
People magazine denies it. I don't believe it, but I think the campaign's getting a little vicious right now.
No.
But
you
I only
think?
report this stuff, and poor Dan, I mean, really, these wives
Oh, my.
are really getting it, huh?
I know we have questions in our audience, and I'm sure the phones are ringing off the hook up there.
Questions?
Yes, stand up.
I'm afraid
I'm just
of
curious where you get most of your information from, and where do you sort out like the truth from all the rumors and the hearsay,
Yeah.
opposed from the real facts?
That's a very good question. Of course, I have a network of spies all over the world, London, Rome, Paris, New York. I mean, sure, it's the hairdressers, the doorman, the chauffeurs, their best friends. Of course, one of the greatest sources is the stars themselves. In order to try to make sure it's really true, we try to get 2 independent sources to corroborate the story, and that's where things get a little touchy. And that's why sometimes we deny stories that are published, because I think it's important not only to tell what we hear, but what we think is true and not true. That's why I don't think Dan Quayle and that story will ever come out.
Oh.
It's hard work.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, what is the name of Princess Di's perfume? Does she have a name for it yet, the fragrance?
Diana. But
Is
it Diana?
The scent will never be sold. It's only a scent for her
Oh,
personally.
specially made
Of course,
for
I'll
her.
bet there'll be,
I
it's
see.
specially made for her.
thought-
That's, I think, why she paid so much money for it. But you can be sure someone's going to steal a bottle of it, and there'll be, you know, the copy-dyed
One
perfume.
came out about 3 years ago for her, and they sold it on the open market. I can't remember what it
Well,
was
and of course, she
called.
was very upset about that. She had nothing to do with that perfume, Renee.
Her royal perfumer did it, the one that's been in the family.
She was not happy.
Oh. Well.
She was not amused.
What is the newest thing about Lisa Bonet? Why is Bill Cosby keeping her on when supposedly she's doing
Because she's a
crazy things?
terrific actress. I mean, she's a major troublemaker, but she's cute and she's
What do you
attractive.
think? You think
Have you ever
Bill
seen those
Cosby ought to just
pictures
get
of
rid
her
of her?
with everything out? I mean, she's gorgeous.
Dump her, right?
I want to keep her on the show.
Yes. Stand up.
Hi, what's happening with Barbara Streisand and Don Johnson?
Well, okay, so it's another breakup. It's really totally over at this point. Hey, okay, she'll find somebody else, and of course, he's always had somebody else when he was with her, when he was without her. It's totally over now. They are actually kaput, but they swear they're going to remain friends.
I'm sorry.
that means you can have Don Johnson.
I'm sorry. It's all right. It's all right. Corey, thank you very much. You can have me back next Friday.
I want to hear all about your wedding night when
We're
I
going to
come
show
back.
pictures. Wedding night.
Photographs. I want photographs.
Yes, you'll get photographs. Thank you, Corey.
It is time for gossip. And back today to bring us never disappointing kind of gossip is the editor of Hampton Magazine, R. Courtney Hay. And can we get him on our little monitor here, Courtney?
It's Corey,
Watch his
Joan. Joni.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, Delta. I mean, no, it's Corey, Joan. How are you? I'm
I
fine.
know, Corey. This is Courtney. It's going to be a good morning here. Now, who do you want to hear about? Delta Burke. She wants to hear any stories on Delta Burke.
Delta Burke, she's not pregnant, but boy, is she big. In fact, recently, Joan, she was offered $1 million to lose 50 pounds by one of the big Ultra Slim Fast. And she took the money, and then she had a few days where she didn't eat very much, but guess what? She couldn't resist shoving those old Twinkies and cupcakes down her throat, and she didn't lose the weight, and she's had to give the money back.
She had to give the money back?
Give the money back. She couldn't lose the weight. She couldn't do it.
Oh, why don't they call me? Oh, are you...
You're
I'd eat
thin enough.
sawdust for $1 million. Are you kidding? Oh, please. All right, now, we were talking here before about Dick Tracy. America's going like Dick Tracy crazy. Have you got any stories about Dick Tracy?
Well, of course, Walt Disney and Warren Beatty is extremely upset because Madonna absolutely showed up to the premiere at Disney World in Florida.
Oh, she was shaving her legs?
It's her
Maybe her
armpits I'm
epilady
worried
hurt
about.
her.
But basically, Madonna and Warren are now having problems. I mean, let's face it, it takes him 10 years to make a film. Madonna doesn't really need him anymore. She's sleeping around, he's sleeping around, and there's some problems. But she does have throat problems. In fact, recently in New York, she was signing everything, including dirty language, all her notes. I mean, it's, and poor Warren, of course, likes phone sex. And so...
Wait, back up. What do you mean phone sex? Like,
well,
what are you
Warren
wearing,
likes,
honey?
phone sex. And they get on the phone, and she's on a world tour right now, so they'd get on the phone and they'd talk dirty and had a great time. That way they could both be with someone else and still be together.
Is the affair over?
I don't really think it's totally dead because there's still a lot of good picture opportunities coming up. In fact, recently they had a pretty good time together. Warren decided that they would go skinny dipping, so he turned his back, and of course Madonna was stripped down, and he turned his back and pulled his bathing suit down, and there on his tushy were tattoos. One with the name of Julie, as for Julie Christie, one for Isabel Gianni, and one, of course, for Madonna. Well, Madonna screamed and freaked out and started slapping around, pushed him in the pool. He got out of the pool, of course, and the tattoo, thank God, washed off.
Oh, those crazy kids. Let me ask you, what about Marlon Brando, who I feel terrible about?
Well, you know, talk about fat, boy. Ooh,
yeah.
Somebody ought to give him a few million to lose some weight. Marlon, of course, is not in the best shape right now. Number one, his new movie, The Freshman, you're going to see a little, you won't see it, but he made a specially designed hearing aid to put in his ear because he can't remember his lines anymore. So now he's using a little hearing device so that he's going to be able to hear the lines fed to him. In addition to that, of course, he's quite upset about Christian, I mean, being in jail for murder. In addition to that...
That would ruin your day.
Yeah, that would definitely ruin your week. Anyway, his girlfriend, Christian's, the son's girlfriend in Rome, whose name is Bernadetta Paggiani, has now decided this is the time for her to pose nude and give a lot of interviews about her life as the lover of Marlon Brando's son, and this is causing further pain and anguish in the family. Meanwhile, Marlon himself has built himself a pyramid to be buried under in Polynesia. I hope it won't happen too soon.
He built himself a pyramid?
A pyramid, yes. Well, he's too big for a simple stone, I guess.
Oh, my... Now, Brigitte Bardot, they said you have a big piece of gossip on Brigitte Bardot. She's giving up sex?
Well, she's sworn a vow...
And who cares at this point? But go on.
Well, I'm glad you don't, John. But right now, she's sworn this vow of celibacy until all hunting worldwide is banned and all people stop wearing furs. So she is like, I don't think she's going to be having much for a while. In the meantime, her little dog, she had this cute little dog named Darling, and Darling was out in the garden sort of digging around, and he dug up this wire and electrocuted himself. So she has now pulled out $150,000 worth of lighting in her garden, and she's putting in all solar lighting. So no sex, no lights. You know.
Poor Bridget. Give her my
a candle.
best. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you again very soon, I hope.
I hope
you
so
always
too,
have
Joan.
great gossipers. Have a nice week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, darling. Goodbye.
Bye.
And we'll be right back. And you're going to get into another dress, Courtney, right? Okay. We'll be right back.
When we return, new home.